Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here once again with another video, and today we're going to be doing a review of the latest installment in the Bad Boys franchise, which is Bad Boys Ride or Die, which is the fourth installment in the Bad Boys franchise. Obviously starring legends Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. And you could say that maybe Bad Boys sort of run its course, because the sequels have been sort of like Bad Boys 95, then Bad Boys 2 was about 2003, 2004, then Bad Boys 3 was like 2021 or something like that, 2021, something like that. And obviously Bad Boys 2024, so maybe, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love movies, and getting sequels is always good, but sometimes I think to myself, should there really be another one, or does it need to carry on? Sometimes it's been years and years since I made sequels, and it's like yeah, it's just you think, yeah, should that have ended? But yeah. Now the third one was actually quite good, actually. Actually, probably the third one was actually better than this, actually, in many places. Now, after the events of the third one, you know, thought, yeah, even though the third one probably should have been it, but then after for the events of the third one, you see, and see that there's probably going to be a fourth one. They think, okay, fourth one, and then it's indication at the end of the third one that it's going in a different direction, and they think, oh, okay, well maybe the fourth one, yeah, all right, if it's going in a different direction, yeah, maybe. If Lawrence wasn't going to be in it, and reason is because now Martin Lawrence has been good. He was great in the first couple, and he's made a few other cool comedy action style films. But after seeing him in the last one, I think he's way past his best. I think he's out of shape. To be honest, I don't think he looks great now. I have to be said, if the years have gone by, you can understand someone getting older, but if someone's let themselves go, maybe, and not, you know, kept in shape. I mean, you look at Will. I mean, look, he still looks good. All the years later, when he's made all the good films that he made in in the 90s, he's a massive blockbuster star, and I personally think he still looks good, and he can still go, he can still deliver, in my opinion. As for Lawrence, I think he's past his best. I have to say, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say he's not in shape. I'm gonna say it as it is. Will still go and still looks good, but Lawrence, I feel, is past. I have to say, he's past his best, and shouldn't really be. Well, first of all, he shouldn't have even been in this, let alone the last one. Well, the last one should have been Lawrence's last film, and I really can't understand why he's in this, to be honest, because I thought the third one, he was going to retire, and that was going to be it, and it was going to be someone, a new cast member, and I really couldn't understand, how he's in this, or maybe he could have been in it briefly, but yeah, I just think, I don't really know why he's still doing, he's just out of shape basically, and I don't really know why he still thinks that, whether it's whether it's an ego thing or whether it's just stubbornness, I don't know. But to my opinion, he's past it, and Will can still go. Now, it was released, I can't remember exactly a month, but a few months back, and it's only been released on DVD literally about a week or so ago, or might be 2 weeks, not too sure, but quite recently. It's just come out. I pre-ordered it, so I got it basically straight away. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, come out. Now, like most things, I was going to see it at the cinema. Didn't see it at the cinema, and I only seen it once on DVD so far. And here is what I thought. Now, as I've just said about Lawrence, being past it, and yeah, another Bad Boys, okay, fair enough, but for me, Lawrence shouldn't have been in it. I can't say it enough. Uh, Now, the gist of this is, well, you know, it's typical Bad Boys, like it is in pretty much the other couple of movies where it's sort of that cop thriller, either about drugs or money. There's nothing different. You're not going to get anything really different from this kind of film. Uh, you're going to get the same for every cop. So there's only really so much, that you can do in terms of storyline. It's going to be drug or money based. Whatever way you look at it, it's not like a Marvel film where you can create something taking over the world or about something in particular that can sort of make up. But this, it's a cop action thriller. It's only going to be about money or drugs. So there's not really ever much room to be able to come up with something. But yeah, so it's a typical sort of storyline, but there is, basically, Lawrence, I think he's supposed to retire, but he doesn't. I think his character in this is stubborn throughout in real life, but I think I think in his character in this, he's supposed to retire and just doesn't, or he's supposed to take a back seat, but doesn't. And then his character, I think, has a heart attack or something where he sort of collapses. They're in a club. His character sort of he collapses and then he ends up in hospital. It goes from a bit, to the usual Bad Boys sort of film where at the beginning it starts off actually all right. It's got an action scene. It starts off right, but then it sort of gets a bit silly where his character has a heart attack and collapses and ends up in hospital, and he wakes up and he's sort of a bit. He's acting weird. I don't know if it's a medication he's on. He's sort of, he's acting weird. He goes up on the roof and then sort of almost gonna jump off the roof, and then he sort of goes into the road, and he sort of, his character's a bit acting really silly, and it's just, it's one of those storylines. It's a bit, it just to me it seemed a bit stupid. It's. If you've seen it, you'll see that it just goes, for me. It just seemed a bit ridiculous. But anyway, he sort of recovers later on, and now, so that is part of sort of what happens, and then there's a few other times where his character sort of has a craving for food and sweets, and I think he has cravings for sweets. You can obviously clearly see he's had too much anyway, but his sort of character, gets a craving for like wanting to eat sweets, treats, and sort of wants to just keep eating. I don't know whether it's supposed to be his character as sort of wanting to, put on weight literally and just wants to keep eating. I don't know if that's, you know, whether Lawrence in his actual personal life has put on so much weight that they just decided in the actual storyline as part of it, because of the way he looks, uh, to just, you know, have this where he wants to keep eating, whether that was part of it or whether they decided, I don't know whether they were going to do that anyway, to have his character wanting to just, put on weight and keep eating, or whether they actually, incorporated that how Lawrence, because obviously I said he's let himself go, like, put on weight. So whether they decided to incorporate that in the story, I don't know. But yeah, it just wants to get, and it's just like sometimes it goes from being serious to like when the action scenes are going on, from then seeing his character want to keep suddenly have a craving for eating sweets and stacks a bit funny, which is a bit bit funny. So the main sort of plot is their captain is accused of some drug related crimes, and then Will and Lawrence are, they know that he hasn't done it, or they think that he hasn't done it, and want to try and clear his name and prove that he hasn't done it. But then there's the crooks or criminals in it that are obviously trying to, stop him from doing that, and trying to kill him or kidnap Captain, and then they end up kidnapping Will's wife or whatever, and then it's sort of so that is pretty much the gist of the whole thing. Now, going in the direction of, as I said, I thought it was going to go in a whole different direction completely. It sort of did that in a way, but it sort of didn't do it enough for me. The other guy that I thought was going to be Will's partner in this, replacing Lawrence, he's in this, but he's sort of like the third wheel. Whether I thought, no pun intended when I said the third wheel. Yeah, he plays third wheel in this, where I thought from the evidence of the last movie, I thought that guy was going to be Will's partner and Lawrence was going to make way. That wasn't the case. Lawrence is still in this, and the guy that was supposed to be Will's partner, or I thought he was going to be Will's partner, is just literally, he's in prison, and then he gets released eventually, and then he sort of comes and joins them, and just becomes part of the team. Whether or not the guy that I thought was going to be taken over from Lawrence, maybe he didn't have enough experience, or whether they just thought to have Lawrence back in it, just have him as a third wheel or not, I don't know. But yeah, he's in prison, he gets out, and then he joins their team, where I thought he was going to be on the team at the beginning, but yeah, he wasn't. Yeah. So now the so the beginning starts off all right, and then Lawrence's character, as I said, it starts off all right, and Lawrence's character collapses, and then ends up in hospital, and then it starts acting really weird, and then it just goes a bit stupid. Then Lawrence sort of recovers quite quickly, funnily enough, but I think he's still a bit, worse for it and wants to keep eating sweets, which is a bit silly. Then it sort of starts to get involved in like the storyline. It starts to develop, and it's all right. And then there's some action scenes that are quite good towards the middle. Going towards sort of the end, it's sort of up and down. It's sort of all right, and then it's a bit boring, and then it's sort of in a situation where it's sort of nothing's new. You've sort of seen all this type of stuff in previous Bad Boys films. It's sort of, are we seeing anything really different to what we've seen before? Sort of like someone gets kidnapped, or you know, villains are sort of after drugs, money, whatever, and it's sort of same old, same old. Then it's sort of, yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's the strongest storyline that I've ever had, to be honest. Um, and it says best Bad Boys yet, but I totally disagree with that. I think the third one was better, but actually quite like the first and second one, and even the third one. I think actually this is the weakest one, to be honest. Um, yeah, and sort of getting towards the end, and the action scene is quite good, but it just seems quite weak as far as I'm concerned. Sort of what they could have come up with. It just seems same old, and just doesn't seem like that strong enough. As I said, the action scenes are pretty good. I don't have any really complaints with that. I just think with the stuff with Lawrence, first of all, Lawrence being in it, I think he should have been, or just been in it just briefly. His character acting funny and passing out and having a craving for just wanting to keep eating sweets and stuff is a bit ridiculous. Will's really good in this, to be fair, like he is. I don't actually remember seeing any film that Will hasn't been good in, to be honest. I think he's always been quite good. And yeah, he's pretty good in this. I don't think this Bad Boys would have been as successful if Will hadn't been in it, to be honest. And yeah, so starts off right and a bit silly, then right towards the middle, but then still a bit silly. Then towards the end, sort of up and down, and then sort of at the end, good action scene, but sort of seen it all before, and sort of nothing really sort of creative. But then, as I said, it's all right, but I don't think it's the best one. And I think the third one was better. Now I'm going to say overall, I'm going to have to go with. Now, certainly not going to say 10 or 9 or 8 out of 10. I probably wouldn't even go 7. I'll probably go 6.5 if I'm being generous. So all right in some places, the action being good, but yeah, just quite weak in others. And also, I think the cast is not that big really. Apart from Lawrence and Will, a lot of the other cast members are not that big. So it's sort of them two, and then not quite a weak cast. So I haven't had not really any big names. And it's sort of, yeah, it's just one of them films where maybe there shouldn't have been another one, or maybe there should have been a few years later, or maybe they should have added some bigger names to the cast list. And it's sort of one of them films where it's sort of, yeah, they made one, but yeah, does anyone really care, or does they need to be one? But yeah, yeah, not as good as I thought it was going to be, and yeah, but all right. So guys, that's going to be it for this review. Sorry it's so long, but I hope you guys